One of the most exciting parts of the whole post-production process is color. And today we're going to bring it to you. My name is Justin with Media Bolt Productions, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, color grading. So color grading, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people think it's just, hey, throw it in the timeline, throw a LUT on it, call it a day. It doesn't work that way. It's not that simple. A lot of people don't even realize that, a lot of it is in the pre-production. It's in the storyboarding. It's in the shot list. It's in the cinematography aspect. That's how we get our color grades as close in camera as possible to what the final output is going to look like. So today we're going to talk about a project. We shot a music video with a guy named Wish and talk a little bit about how we got the grade that we came up with. Number one, this all started in pre-production. We knew we wanted these shots that looked very cool, moody, gloomy in a way, dramatic. So we had to craft that with our lighting and with the shots that we decided to go with so that it would make it much easier on the post-production side to get that. So what we did was use a little bit of blue light as kicker, and we used RGBs, and we also used a daylight bulb that we were able to shine into the scenes to kind of give it that steel blue look. This was really awesome in kind of creating that look we wanted. Then there were other scenes where we wanted the duality between warm light and cool light. And so that's when we brought our tungsten bulbs in and did some shots, and I'll show you those coming up, but it was really cool. We got half blue and half tungsten on their face. And it just looked really awesome, but it was in the planning and in the shot list and in the production where we were able to get this really cool look. So first we're gonna jump into our master shot. This was the shot that kind of set the tone for the whole film and what we were kind of going with the music video. So this shot here, he's obviously dealing with some dramatic situation, and he is starting to drink a little bit, but we really wanted it to have this cool blue effect. So this was in the lighting. If you can see offset here, we had a daylight bulb shining in, and then we had RGB to the left of that, kind of filling it up and creating this tone. So this shot honestly was very, very close in camera to exactly what we wanted. So we didn't really do too much to it, but I did bring up the lumetri scopes and go in and start to kind of craft it and get it a little bit closer to what we wanted, just adding a little contrast. As this we shoot Sony, so we shot it in Cine 4 instead of S-Log, just so we could try to retain a little bit more shadow detail because we knew we were going to be very moody with the look. So give it just a little bit of exposure so that we can get it, look at their face a little bit more. The shadows, we don't want to go too deep. Blacks, it looks really good with what we have there, honestly. The next kind of thing we kind of do is head down here to our curves. Boom, and the curves. All right, so what I really like doing here is kind of mess around with the hue a little bit. And what's nice about this is I can go from a blue, if I'm shooting with a blue or CTO or with a color temperature blue gel, and I can kind of adjust it left, right, up, down. So I took that and just kind of grabbed this section here. What it does is highlight this area here, and this is kind of our range we want to work with. So by clicking right in here, now I can kind of drag that up, and what it does is it turns the blues, as you can see, more towards the green. You can always go all the way up green, you can go all the way up, do all those crazy things. We're not doing that much. All I wanted to do was kind of move this up towards the teal, just to introduce a little bit more of that still, not quite the matrix, that's more of the matrix, but in between there was kind of what we wanted to look at. So boom, mess around with that, and that kind of mess with the hue. Something else you can do is take your color picker as well, come up to the hue versus saturation. And with that, if it will let me click on it, I'm gonna grab these same colors. All right, now buddy, there we go. All right, I'm gonna grab these same colors, and I just wanna bring the saturation down just a hair. And what that does is just kind of creates it, you can take it totally away and you have some kind of like noir look. And honestly, mentally, we were shooting this, we wanted to get those shadows and capture that. So this is really cool that it looks like this. That means we kind of did it the way we wanted to. but we're just gonna get rid of a little bit of that blue just to kind of continue to push that steel type look. Yeah, so that was kind of all we really did there. You can come into the curve up here and really kind of mess with the contrast a little bit and bring the shadows down just a hair and kind of create that S curve. And then stylistically adding in, coming here and you can kind of add in that, add in a little bit of that. This gives it that kind of contrasty Instagram look. We wanted a clean look for ours, so we left it kind of where it was at. So you can see before, after, we already got some good stuff going right here. It's already moving really, really good. So now that we have that, what I did kind of to top it off was go in here. We had this special LUT that we like to use, and it was called, it's called the driver. All right, the driver LUT, it kind of brings in, this is kind of our final look that we wanted to go with. It is a little strong, and when dealing with LUTs, you never want to kind of overdo it. Never overdo it with the LUTs. Take your time with them, manicure them. Do not just throw them on there and make it all crazy. So I bring it down in the, start in the 50 range, 30 range, kind of work your way up till you get that look you want. Obviously all the way up to 100's a little too powerful. Kind of liking it right here in this 70 range. All right, so this was our master shot before, after. You know, we went from having that, you know, blue look, which we shot in camera, and then we kind of crafted it to the style we really wanted. So this was our master shot, and now what we wanted to do is kind of match the rest of the film to that. So something we did is, I'm gonna go to our next shot. Our next shot. So this was the duality shot where we had the blue light and the warm light. And so what we wanted to do was match that to there. So what I kind of can do is start out and Command C, copy that from the first clip that we have, and I'm gonna paste attributes. You can do it that way, or you can right click on the clip and do it as well. I'm just gonna paste my lumetri color in there. And you know that really gets us pretty close automatically. These shots were actually shot in camera very well. I'm gonna stress that again. In camera, the exposure was nailed, the colors was nailed. So it's very easy for me to do that here and just drag and drop, because I know that we're not too far off with the grade. You can look at the scopes here. We're not clipping on our shadows, and the midtones are right where we want it, because we wanted it very moody. So it actually looks really good right off the rip. I mean, there's a couple little things you can do, but I feel really good about that. And that's because we shot it well in camera. But we go to this last clip. This is him drunk, knocked out in the tub. He's getting a shower. He probably puked everywhere, whatever. He's kind of struggling. But this is kind of one of the ending clips of our shoot. We really needed to craft this. When we do the same thing to it, let me just go right into it. We'll paste it to here. So you can right click on there and go paste attributes. That's the other way you can do it. And just paste your lumetri color. It looks pretty good, all right? But what I wanted to do here was accentuate the warm tone that was coming from the shower a little bit more. So what I did is, came in here and did the same thing as we did with the hue saturation. I'm gonna click it on that area, which is already kind of ready, and I'm just gonna bring that up a little bit. And I'm also going to do the same thing here for the, for the hue versus hue. Hue versus hue. It's not letting me do it, so I'm gonna add my own marks here and here, and my mark is kind of in this area. So I was gonna bring this up a little bit more towards a warm, kind of orange tone. There we go. Also just move it a little bit on our scale that way. Just a little bit on the temperature. I don't want to do too much. Little moves. Don't ever do too much at a time, because then you start getting, you know, your clip will start banding. You'll start getting all kinds of color shifts and weird stuff. So always little adjustments at a time, and then it doesn't look so so staged and just kind of nasty. So you always want to kind of just take your time with that. Yeah, so I was able to get something pretty close right there, as you can see. Going back and forth there, I really like that. This shot actually, yeah. Show you a little bit more of it. A little later in the shot, he's in the shower and he's looking up at us. So with this, we just wanted to kind of take a look at his face a little bit, and we can get a little more contrast in there, and just kind of make that a little bit more contrasty with the curves. Then kind of show the subject and just create a little bit more drama to the scene. And I really like the way that this came out. In color grading, it's all about matching. And that was part of the reason why you take your master shot, your favorite shot of the scene, what's gonna set the tone, and what you know that you kind of did properly, and do that one, edit it all out, and then you can come in and kind of work on the timeline with the other shots. Another thing you can do, I'm just gonna show you real quickly, let's remove attributes. Remove attributes. And you can come over here and bring in an adjustment layer. Sorry. Adjustment layer. So adjustment layer went into my folder. And you can drop your LUT onto that adjustment layer. What's nice about that is it's gonna put that automatically on all of your clips that it is over the top of. So you can kind of choose where you want that to go. For the driver. All right, so it goes over all the top of those. So then you can toggle that on and off and see before or after. And then you can also add things in there. So typically what I do is, so this shot right here, for instance, we already did some of the color grade, but the LUT's there, but I would do all of the color correction on top of that clip. Do your color correction on the clip. I have the clip highlighted so I can, make it brighter, do it all these little small details using my scopes and all that good stuff. Do all of that on the clip, and then finally put the LUT on top of the clip, and then kind of adjust that LUT intensity there so that you can basically drag this along your whole timeline, and it goes over all of your clips. And if you have anything where it's like, oh well, man, this one shot is too big, or it's too crazy, you know what? You can take just this section and maybe bring the intensity down on that section right there so that it kind of matches a little bit better. So it's all about matching it so that the viewer isn't thrown off by what's going on, basically. Color grading, like I said, is one of the most fun parts of editing and filmmaking, in my opinion, because it's your time. You get to use a paintbrush and go in and do some cool things. And this is a very basic color grade. We really didn't do any crazy things, didn't add any masks or anything like that. That's something, if you're interested in, put it down in the comments. We can do a video about. But this was just a basic color grade and how we try to get something that matches from start to finish in our films that we shoot. If you have any questions about color grading, don't be afraid to ask them down below. We'll reach out to you guys. And yeah, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe and give us a like, and come check us out next time here at Media Boat. Peace.